Hello. In today's episode, we will try to answer the questions. Does Atlantis exist? What is the past of the Atlantic? Where does the name Atlantic Ocean come from? What creatures live in the ocean water? Who was the first to swim through the Atlantic? And we will also tell about the Bermuda Triangle and much more. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest water reservoir in the world after the Pacific, and its area covers about 20% of the entire surface of the globe. It is estimated that it contains over 310 million cubic kilometers of water and extends between Europe, Africa, and the eastern coasts of the Americas, also covering Arctic waters. It was created after the collapse of the supercontest of Pangaea. This took place about 180 million years ago, which made the Atlantic much younger than the Pacific Ocean. It was created during the Jury, i.e. in the era in which ancient reptiles, dinosaurs dominated on the globe, as well as early mammals, amphibians, or sea reptiles also began to arise. Now, let's see what is hidden in the depths of the ocean. Let's start from the beginning, i.e. with the name. The Atlantic Ocean was first mentioned in 450 BC as Atlantis Thalassa in the book Historia Herodotus, which in English means the Atlantic Sea. He was named after Titan Atlas, one of the characters of the ancient Greek epic. According to the legend, Atlas, alias Atlant, kept the vault of the sky on his arms, protecting them from falling to the ground. The Greeks thought that the Atlantic is a giant river that flows around the world, and they called the ocean themselves all waters west of their country. The Great Blue Hole is an interesting place on the Atlantic off the coast of Belize. It is a large round hole in the sea with a depth of 120 meters. Blue Hole owes its name due to the sharp border between dark and light colors of water. It was probably created in the Ice Age, when the sea level was 100 to 120 meters lower. The famous French diver Jacques Cousteau announced Great Blue Hole one of the 10 best diving places in the world, despite the fact that diving in this place can be dangerous. Sometimes during tides, vortices and sucking are formed, addictive everything that rises on the surface. During the outflow of the water fountain, they explode from the inside, but despite the danger and peripheral location, 96 kilometers from the city of Belize, divers examine this place, and now Great Blue Hole is a popular diving place. In the Atlantic, a tragedy known all over the world also happened. Well, in 1912, Titanic on his way to America hit an iceberg, and his wreck still lies at the bottom of the ocean. A few years ago, an Irish journalist discovered another reason why this ship sank. It is obvious that Titanic was sinking through a collision with an iceberg, while the second reason was a fire in one of the boiler rooms of the ship, which was noticed very late. The fire caused heating the root to even 1,000 degrees Celsius, and this temperature could cause the steel to become fragile, so sooner or later it would have to be sunk. And as the ship is talking about, it is said that the Vikings on their ships sailed the Atlantic Ocean over 1,000 years ago, but it is Christopher Columbus who is still considered an explorer, because there is no clear evidence of such far-sea Viking expeditions. As it is about civilizations, the Atlantis was considered a sunk city with lost civilization. The first source of knowledge about her were Plato's writings, who described the island located behind Hercules' poles, i.e. probably behind Gibraltar, but even researchers did not believe in this story and about the existence of this land. Only recently archaeologist Michael Donnellan announced that this land was found. In the film Atlantica, it was revealed that it was a sunk ancient city located near Cadix in Spain. Bermuda Triangle, the reason for mysterious disappearances. This area extends between Bermudas, Florida, and Puerto Rico. This includes about 500,000 square miles in the Atlantic Ocean. The secret began in 1945, when the group on American travelers disappeared. After that event in this area, there were dozens of disappearances and disasters of ships and aircraft. Although they are combined with the likely eruptions of the local volcanoes and gas outfits, some see supernatural forces that would be the reason for such numerous events of this type. Still, the secrets of this place have not been discovered. Unfortunately, the next sad event was the explosion of the drilling platform in 2010 on the Gulf of Mexico, which caused the greatest ecological disaster in human history in the ocean. We delved into the past of this ocean, so let's go back to the present. Currently, the Atlantic is the only ocean that goes through all climate zones from north to south. An interesting phenomenon that occurs in almost its entire area is the arrangement of surface currents. In the northern hemisphere, they take two huge circles, moving according to the movement of the clock guidelines, while in the southern hemisphere, in the opposite direction. As I mentioned earlier, this ocean is the second largest ocean on our planet. There are not many islands on it, but they are one of the largest in the world, including Greenland, Iceland, and Great Britain. The Atlantic also has the Danish Faroe Islands, Portuguese Azores, belonging to Canada Newfoundland or Cape Verde Island. Most islands are located in the Caribbean Sea, which is a separate part of the Atlantic, so called Antilles, and these are, among others, Cuba, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Martinique, or Barbados. When you would like to cross the Atlantic Ocean yourself, you would have to take care of yourself because it is relatively dangerous because of frequent storms that occur in the central parts of the water reservoir. In addition, there are frequent hurricanes near the coast of South America, which make these waters extremely restless. That is why also probably 5 people who tried to fly with a balloon over this ocean did not cope with it. As for the salinity of the ocean, unfortunately, the Atlantic leads to the rest of the oceans because it has 35.3 per thousand salt in water. Despite such high salinity, many species of different animals live in water, e.g. giant whale, sea lion, starfish, catfish, Atlantic crab, penguins, sea turtle, gray seal, various shark species. Natural deposits on this ocean are very rich and very significant on a global scale, and these are oil, fish, natural gas, and precious stones. As it is specifically half of the fish from the northern parts of the Atlantic Ocean, they constitute almost half of all world fishing. Most of the tuna, mackerel, herring, cod, and salmon come from here. As it comes to half, in the sea sighted in this ocean they are very small, and the fish are mainly caught for paid purposes. You will probably ask why? Well, the Sargasso Sea is the only sea that has no coast and is limited by sea currents. Gulf Stream, North Atlantic, Canary, and North Atlantic equatorial currents. In this relatively stationary water, there are excellent conditions for the development of algae, as a result of which the entire sea is covered with sargassum algae. Interestingly, despite these algae, there are a lot of sea animals there, such as dolphins, sea turtles, shrimp, snails, polydies, and whales. It's all in this episode. I hope that this movie was pleasant to watch. As you got to the end, write in the comment Atlantis for coverage, and I say goodbye to you and see you in the next film. Hey!